Oh, the chart thing.
So glad that you all are hanging out with us. I am here with Valerie, and we're ready to have some great conversation. Got a great show lined up. Right. I'm going to get started.
Comfortable what?
Comfortable pillow, because it's getting ready to happen in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hey, everybody, what's going on? So glad that you all are here. We have had a rest day, right?
No.
Well, I had a rest day.
Rest day.
I did absolutely nothing all day.
No.
Val went with her mom and did some things, and work, and work.
Hi, Miss Valerie.
Had a great.
Listen, Miss Valerie is on here. I know she want to encourage everybody to get to the polls to vote.
Yeah, for sure.
Miss Valerie, I hope you
all those who have
on
not.
In there. Good evening, Becca Jean, LaQuisha Hines. Hello. If you have not voted, go and vote.
Go vote.
Vote.
Makes the difference.
Yes.
Voting makes the difference. Hey, so while you're dropping in, go ahead and tell us where you're watching from. If you're watching from another state or even another country, go ahead and drop that in there. Let us know. We would love.
Right around the corner.
Yeah, even if you're right in our living room.
Same neighborhood.
Hey, Philia, what's going on? Y'all, we have an exciting show tonight. I am really excited about this. Two of my favorite people. A set of my favorite
Just say
people.
Some great people are on here.
A set of my favorite people.
Hosts do that a lot. When I watch, like talk shows.
Yeah,
they say they repeat a lot. Like I thought, they tell one guest, "Oh, listen, I really, I'm so glad to have you," and they make them feel super special. Then the next guest.
Well, that's why I said one of. So there's many, but this is a set.
Oh, so one of many. These are two of many, because you have two guests.
Yeah, because that's what
now.
Now
They are favorites. Now they are families.
But you know what I thought about too, since we talk about, and this is one of those things. I'm not going to derail the show, but
it's okay. Derail it.
Why do people say a set of twins?
Just say twins. You don't have to say a set of.
I
unless you're saying I have two sets of twins.
Where were we? We were somewhere in the lady when we went to Sam's.
I have one.
And so the people were riding by. She said, "Oh my God, they're so cute." She said, "Are they a set of twins?" And so I just walked up, laughing like, a set of twins. Wow, that's different.
So what's your thought? They could just say, "Are they twins?" That's telling you twins is a set.
Right. That's what I'm like, 1, 2. You can't be a twin. You can't say one person. "Oh, are you a twin?" That's like crazy. That makes no sense.
I think that's one of our guests. One of her pet peeves is when people say tuna fish, right?
Yeah. It's that's like fish.
Just say tuna.
Like saying fish. fish. I'm gonna do a fish sandwich, like tuna fish. fish sandwich.
Yes, Miss Valerie, you're correct. Yes, early voting has closed. Vote tomorrow if you have not voted.
All right.
Get to the polls. We're excited.
Right.
Watching from Paris. Love it.
Wow.
How's the weather?
Watching from Paris.
How is the weather in
That is
Paris?
awesome.
Is it Paris or Paris?
It depends on where you're from. If you're from right here, then it's just Paris. Paris.
Somebody asked me one time, but I gotta insert. This was a for real question.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, do you pronounce it Italian or Italian?
Well, if you're over 60, it's Italian.
No, it was and I'm thinking Italian or
I've never heard
Italian.
no
So
Italian.
then my coworker who's Italian, she said, "Do you say Italian dressing or Italian dressing?" And I said, or she said Italy, or do you say Italy? So we were like, it's Italy. She said, okay, it's Italian.
These people.
I was like, I love it. So yeah, just hey, but whatever
yeah,
makes
however
you comfortable,
you choose to do it.
however you choose to do it, pronounce it out. We'll get
What's up, Steph? I like that, Steph. Clarity Nation. I'm gonna have to work with that. What's up, Miss Z? Thanks for joining us. Y'all, we have a great line up tonight. Like I said, tonight we're talking about dating unfiltered. Real talk about why it is so complicated. You know, in my line of work, not just pastoring, but as well as being a hairstylist and a friend, predominantly the young ladies are finding it very hard to find that person or that best fit. You know,
yeah,
it's almost in like seriously, it's like a real thing now. Like people like it's slim pickings out there now. So the temperament of our show tonight, that's what we want to really dive into.
But do you really think is it a higher percentage of women, or is it just equal playing field when it comes to men are having just as hard a time? I think it's like the culture of today on both, right?
See, that's a loaded question, and the only way that I know how to answer that is as a man. But we'll let the guests answer. We'll let them answer that, but stick a pin in that because I don't even want to get into it. But it's a challenge.
Woman.
It's a challenge. I would say it's a challenge.
It's a challenge on both, though.
On both ends. So before we bring on our guests, we want to just kind of give a ballpark or a round robin. No, that wouldn't be the right word. Give a scope of what we're talking about this month. So on November the 20th, we will be celebrating 25 years of marriage. I was going to say 20 plus 5. So 25 years of marriage. And what we wanted to kind of set the whole show this month on relationship. So we decided to start with single. And real brief before we bring our guests on, we was going to talk about, and I was trying to find the picture, y'all, but I couldn't find it. Because when Val and I first started dating, one of our dates was I had never went to a magic game. I never went to a real magic game. And she got tickets and took me to a magic game. And it was cute then, but it's corny now. So corny. When I look at the picture, because we had on the same outfits. I'm like, oh my God, what were we thinking about?
Well, we were matching. We wore khakis with blue shirts.
Yeah.
And I don't even think we weren't really trying to coordinate with magic colors. I think it just so happens to be.
I don't even know it probably was your idea, because I don't think I would have suggested that. And y'all, Val always wore these. If in her friends on there, they know Val wore these little scarves. Val had
they're called neck scarves.
Neck scarves. When we got married, and I moved her in from her mom's house, I went to her mom's house, and y'all, this girl had
a shoebox.
Not a shoebox. No, I'm getting to the scarves. No, she had a whole closet full of shoes.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant.
I made about 7 trips from my house to her mom's house, getting all her shoes. It was ridiculous. And then, if that wasn't enough, she did the scarves. I told y'all she did the scarves. She had boxes and boxes of scarves, and because she's so detailed, they were all rolled up in little boxes and compartments like this. I'm like, what is this?
I was very organized.
Yeah, you were. You had a lot.
There were a lot of shoes. I remember Mom used to ask me. She said, "I don't understand." She said, "You only have 2 feet, and how do those 2 feet wear this many pairs of shoes?"
Yeah, it was a lot of stuff.
But you like shoes too. Wait, don't leave me out there.
No, but I'm just saying this, like when you're dating a person, and this will kind of feed into the show. I knew you
the
looked
things
nice coming out. I knew that. Like when you were dressed, you was
you
nice
didn't know
coming out.
what the back
But I
end
didn't know,
was.
my goodness, like I'm like, what is this? A darn shoe store? And then she worked at a shoe store.
I did.
She worked
Which
at
is
a
why I
shoe
got so
store.
many shoes. They
Yeah,
were
it was like good.
little
Give
to
it a
nothing.
break, you
And
know.
I'm a bargain shopper, so I listen. And
Yeah.
I think women, we can buy probably 2 or 3 pair of shoes to what sometimes you all men pay for some of those loafers and shoes that y'all have, right?
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
So what was the moment when you just knew you had to have me?
Really? Oh Lord. I think it's the way you said preface that I had to have
yeah,
you.
because
Okay.
you know,
All right. That's
was,
a loaded question.
it was the constant looking at me, and
right.
I mean all this stuff like going on, and like you know, okay, okay, I'll take you out.
I liked the way you combed your hair.
Oh,
I like the style of shoes you wear.
yeah, of course.
It's just the little things you do
Yeah.
to show how much you really care. When I'm all alone with you, you know exactly. No, I'm just teasing.
Really?
No, in seriousness, wow. No, I mean, I don't know about like the moments. I mean, there are a lot of like important moments in our relationship of dating that I was like, wow, like this sets him apart for sure. And this, you know, and I knew you had class, I knew you had standards. Honestly, I will say one of the things that comes to mind quickly is when we were dating, the way the conversations we would have on the phone. You know, you do all, you know, staying, I mean, because we stayed on the phone late, falling asleep, all, you know, what happens in some cases when you're enjoying the conversations of others. And it wasn't, you know, just inappropriate conversations. We really had great conversations about life and our upbringings. And we realized we had a lot in common in terms of like insecurities and I remember when you asking, I don't remember the exact what led to us talking about like family and marriage, but it's how you spoke of the type of wife and family that you had wanted. That was a moment that I was like, wow. And you said it, you had said it a couple of times in a different way, but it was very consistent. So I didn't feel you were just trying to, you know, I don't want to say just saying it just to appease me or just, you know, quote unquote, have a rap game, if you will. But really, I admired that about you. The other thing that stood out to me, which is important, I would look at how you would handle your mom and your family, you know, your sister, your brother, mainly the women in your family, because that is telling of what I would receive when we got comfortable. Now, when you know, when you're dating, everybody puts their best foot forward. But like our old pastor used to say, it's the other foot that you need to watch. But I would really watch him in an environment with his family, his mom and his sister, and how gentle he was and how attentive he was. He's very you know, he can pay attention to a lot of important details, you know, his tone and the way he would talk, or just even how he would handle relationships with other people when there was conflict and things like that. Just your response. And you've been very consistent. You're a reasonable guy. And so I would watch that and I was like, okay, if he's doing it with some of the people that are most closest to him, meaning his mom, his sister, his aunt, some of his cousins, I'm like, and then you hear at, you know, their family events that his personality and what you stood for was very consistent in different conversations with different people that really knew you. So in that, I think that was a highlighted moment for me to be like, yeah, he's definitely that's a turning point for me in terms of, you know, yeah, he's the one, you know, and I was ready to move forward. Because before that, you know, there were moments that we've had some turbulent in our dating relationship, but at the end of the day, you know, we were young and things happened, but I knew then at that point, like, okay, he's consistent in what he's saying to me. He's consistent in what I'm seeing, and I could appreciate that. Yeah. I know it's a stretch, but I mean, you asked one of the turning moments, and that's real for me.
I wanted to kind of give just a roundabout, like I said before we bring our guests on, like tell a little of our story. Then we're going to talk to them about what's happening now currently, because our dating environment was a bit different than what they experience now.
Right.
And you know, I always say that I always knew you, but it was like that moment. True story, y'all, and we're not fabricating anything. This is how I always knew Valerie because I was her hairstylist.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna tell this, and then we're gonna go ahead and get where to bring our guests. Always knew that she was wifey material. And I always tell young brothers that I talk to, just from a man's perspective, we know what's wifey material and what's not. And we'll get a little more into that. And because I know she was wifey material, I just stayed in there enough because I didn't want to lose her. But I'll never forget, we were at a church. Our church was having a revival, and I was one of the ministers.
Oh.
And like I said, I know Val, and I always thought she was, you know, snazzy, had it all together. You know, she was cute and all that stuff. And I remember this one time I was sitting we were having revival at church, and I was sitting on the pulpit, because at our church, all the ministers would sit on the pulpit, and, you know, doing what we do, revival, you singing songs, all that kind of stuff. And Val and her friends always sat in the same place. They always sat in the same place. And so, you know, we enjoying church, we clapping, we churching it up. And I happened to gaze over there, and I don't know what happened that night, but it's like she looked different. And one of the things that I love a modest woman. And Val was that. She had her hair back in like a little bun. And I mean, it was like, I could not take my eyes off that girl. And I knew her. But in that started the cycle where we start, you know, really pursuing one another. And I always say this, she allowed me to pursue her. That ain't old school. That ain't played out. But anywho.
But let me insert something. Before that moment, you got to think we had already known each other for some years prior.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why timing is also everything, because I'll be honest, that's also when, you know, I really started committing my life to Christ more seriously. I got saved when I was young, and all that happened, but really walking that lifestyle and really being committed to Christ, my whole posture and look was different. Now, before that, you know, I hung out. He knew me because we met each other in the clubs. We would see each other out, but that wasn't the attraction. Interesting enough. And what I'm saying is not that I didn't look, but it was one of those things where, you know, I wore my hair when you were just joking about how back in the day we would put our hair up in the ponytail up top, sprouted out like a fountain, and, you know, all the asymmetric hairstyle, the salt and pepper look, and all these things. So I remember before then, I don't think I thought he was handsome and I thought he was attractive.
Go ahead and tell what else you thought.
What?
She said she thought I was. I thought I was bougie.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
she saw me one time at the club, and I went in the VIP section.
Oh, yeah. No, before he went in the VIP, he was standing next to the VIP like room. And so I'm walking by like, oh, and I'm trying to, you know, say hello and have a conversation. But he had this whole posture like, ma'am, this is beyond your league.
That's how you saw,
because he was in a 2-piece suit looking like ready for the world.
Okay, that's enough of that.
He had his what do you call the things you had in your eyes? Contacts on. I said, you know what? I'm gonna keep walking. I am definitely not in his league. And when I say, he looked at me like, you go ahead to your, you know, the general admission session, and I'm going to VIP. I'll catch you later. And so I knew then. I'm like, yeah, we're definitely, we'll just stay friends. But as you know, we matured and growed. So the moment he's talking about was, you know, a time where I had actually moved away and came back. He hadn't seen me walking in the church, and then we started courting from there.
Seriously, we
seriously
pursuing one another.
Right.
Seriously. So
anyway, that was.
Here's what we're gonna do, guys. We know it's a lot of juicy moments in our stories, but we wanted to just take you all on a journey with us, as you will see, from single, and then we're inviting guests to talk about singleness.
Right.
But you'll see how we went from there to dating, engagement. So if you hang out with us this month, that's what you can look forward to.
With our guests, our guests,
our guests are going to help share their story. So with that being said, one of the things that Val and I talked about, how different dating is now.
Oh my
And
gosh.
just from things that we've heard. So one of my good friends, friends to Valerie and myself.
Two of our good.
Yeah. Well, I was going to introduce the ladies first, and then I'll
Oh,
talk
that's
about
very
Taj.
thoughtful of you. See, I told you.
Torres to my ready for the world. Yeah,
Torres, you remember?
yeah. I was ready for the world. Had the curl and all to go with it. But so this young lady I've known for, I mean, a while. We've known each other for a while. She's go way back, my singing group and all that kind of stuff. And so we talked to her. Val reached out to her and we actually come in because one thing about Sharon, she's gonna bring some comedy. She's gonna bring some comedy to it, but just straight up about the temperament and tone of what's going on in now time. What women, she's gonna be spoken for women tonight. What they're looking for. What are some things that are concerns? What are some things that are not working as it comes to dating? You know, how do you approach people? You know, now I just want to set this. It's not that she's giving her scope of view, if you will. So don't nobody go text nothing and all that kind of, well, that ain't what I'm just saying this is her view, and we invited her on my platform, and that's what she's doing. Exactly. And then we have a good friend of mine's, young man that I'm so very proud of. He's shaping to be a great, not only man, but a man of God. And so we invited him to come out and just share his views and point of, as a man, from what we're looking from. Yeah, because a lot of times,
and what's been the challenges for men? That's why I said in the beginning.
And we don't talk about that a lot. We don't talk. Torres is going into the Sheila.
Yeah. Wait, why you
said Sheila? Because that's what you said. Oh, Sheila.
That's how you said.
Yeah, you had to be back from that era to understand that. If y'all don't know, if y'all don't know Ready for the World, then y'all don't know what we're talking about.
But I love it.
I know Torres probably cracking up right now because that was the jam. That was a jam.
I just love that you got in character that quick and you just like.
Oh, I love that
Sheila.
song.
How you say it one more time?
Oh, Sheila. dun, 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 dun. You know, Morris Day, all that. Anyway, let's get back. Let me get back.
Oh, now
so we're gonna go ahead and bring them in now, guys. So I can't give applause because I still don't have my sound effects.
Let's give it up.
We'll clap it up for them. Welcome to the stage, Taj and Sharon. Welcome, guys.
Hello, guests.
How y'all doing?
Give it up for the single people.
Good. Thank you guys for having me.
All right. So glad for y'all to join us on this platform, the Clarity Lounge, where we bring clarity. So we won't have just great conversation. So, Sharon, we're gonna start with ladies. Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, I'm Sharon. I am 42. Actually, I figured that out today. I thought I was 41, but I'm 42. I actually used a calculator. But sorry. Like he said, I am here representing just my own experiences and my own views. But I am a single lady in these streets trying to stay saved. And basically, I am here to just share with you all some of the things that I have encountered. And yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Glad to have you, Sharon. Glad to have you.
Taj, tell us who you are, sir. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am Taj. I am 26 years old. Born and raised Brooklyn, New York, and then moved down here. I am currently engaged. I just recently got engaged.
Woohoo! That's to be clapped up. Listen, but we're gonna hear how the journey to get there, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Congrats.
So thank you all again for coming on the platform.
To have you, Taj.
Appreciate you all. So we're gonna dive right in here because I want to utilize this time. Now, those of you all watching, if you know somebody that find interest in this conversation and this particular topic, by all means invite them in because I believe it's gonna be juiceration. I think that's, I made that up. So totally I'm a creative force. So we're gonna jump right in here and kind of set the scene. Single, set apart, and satisfied. Those are things that you commonly hear as it references single people. And sometimes we tend to think like because we're saved or whatever, we believe in God, that it's easier.
Right.
You know, sometimes people let like it's easier because you got Jesus and all that stuff, but it some of the narratives still are the same. Some of the things that you're desiring still the same. So we want to dive right into those some
So
of
can we
those
start with
questions.
Sharon?
Yeah,
You
we're
got a
gonna start with
question?
Sharon. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, because I knew you was
Oh, I
fine. I
thought
was
you was
trying to have your back. I knew you were
yeah,
trying to find it. His screen blanked out, but I
yeah.
committed my questions to memory.
So yeah, well, I mean, we could just shoot. So Sharon, what are some things when it comes to relationship, if you would say from your bracket, and I'm like age bracket of women, what are some of the most common things that you feel will be most important to a woman of your stature? Like, what are some things that you're looking for?
Um, Most importantly, I would say establishment as far as a man with a job. Um, let's be real. Economic status, and it doesn't have to be a great job, but maybe a job that has some type of management program, 401k, something that promotes longevity, um, health benefits,
Hmm.
insurance. Um, Maybe if not an absolutely clean criminal record, one that can be investigated and explained. Um, let's see. Rela- Relationship with God, because there's petty crimes. You didn't pay your traffic tickets. We can deal with that.
Hmm.
Relationship with God, and not
Come on.
just a surface one that has some oil on it. And
Hmm.
when I say oil on it, you done been through some things. You have your foundation has been cracked and repaired. It don't
Hmm.
necessarily have to be cute, but something that you can explain why he is what he is to you.
Hmm.
And I don't need necessarily anybody that's all glorious and grand in the ministry, but has that personal relationship and can explain why God has been faithful, why He's been dependable, things like
Hmm.
that.
Wow.
Um,
Okay.
and basically, that's all I need because
That's it.
we can move forward from what you already have established.
Hmm.
Um, but you got to have a start for me. Um,
Okay. Okay.
so
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Taj, what about you? What are some things and that you, and we know you're engaged, but when you were
The
on the market.
first thing for me would be has to have a relationship with God. Have to. That's the main thing. Relationship with God.
Hmm.
Then next would be love. Have to be, able to give love and receive love. Loyalty, integrity. Also have to be able to not only respect me, but respect her own values and know what she really wants in a
Wow.
Hmm.
man
Wow.
to actually understand, be able to understand him, and also he should be able to understand her. I feel
Yeah, that
How
sounds
do you
somebody,
or do you
somebody
also?
I would say to be
oh
wife
yeah.
material. So that
Gotcha.
Okay, you said somebody that's wife material.
yes,
Let's explore.
Was what?
What's wife material?
wife material.
Yeah, what's wife material? But and I'm just saying, like, expand on that because, yeah. Well, what's wife material, Taj?
Somebody that's not out there. I don't want to like that's they have everything that I've described to you just now, but just not out there in the world, like living through the world, like more like trying to find himself through the godly aspect of things,
Hmm.
and
Mm.
like how you conduct yourself. Like I'm attracted to women how they conduct themselves, like how you was explaining how Lady Val was dressing and stuff like that. Like the way you dress, the way you talk, the way you approach,
Hmm.
and you can hold a conversation, the way how we solve problems together and stuff like that. Like stuff like that. Like if we have a problem, how do you solve it? Are we gonna argue about it? Or are we gonna talk it out? Are you able to communicate properly?
Hmm.
And the reason why I wanted to
Thank
explore
you.
that,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Yeah.
I wanted
That
to
was good.
explore that a little more is because, um, Tourist or tread lightly, bro.
Yeah.
And the reason why I ask that because wife material can vary
Yeah.
Absolutely.
depicted on the need of the person, just as
Yes.
husband material. So I'm not
Right.
challenging your thought, but I'm just saying
Yeah. For
expanding
the
on that
person.
because
Yeah.
right for the person, because and I'll give a quick example. Val was wife material, but Val made it straight up when we talked, because we did a lot of talking in our um
As we were
as we
preparing
preparing, right.
to
And one
get
of the
there.
things she said, now if you look for somebody that's gonna be cooking every day, every night in the kitchen, baking cakes and pies and all that, she ain't the girl. She made that perfectly clear. So for somebody, and then we're gonna hear from Sharon, somebody that might be something of importance to
Considered
them.
wife
Yeah,
material.
consider. So that's why I always challenge single people, know your core values.
Yeah.
You got to know what it is that you like, what you're looking for, because if you go to you just, and I'm glad that Tasha that wife material, you got to be detail specific of what that looks like to you.
Right.
Otherwise, you'll constantly be in a quick turnover.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd be like a job, a
Yeah.
revolving door. So, Sharon, what are some things like when we say the
Husband
husband
material.
material? What does that look like?
Well, for me, in answer to your question before I get into that, um, it's anything that I feel like I'm willing to make the investment in to either cultivate or to motivate, activate, like we say at church.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That's what I feel is husband material.
Yeah.
So if I see the like you always say, the seed of something that I feel could be something, then
Mhm.
that's what I feel like husband material. So like for me, somebody who's able to fix things, that's big for
Mm.
me.
Wow.
And when I say fix things, not necessarily from his own, oh, I know how to fix this, but maybe I'm humble enough to get the instructions and learn how to fix this. I'm humble enough to watch on TV and learn how to fix this, to do the fixes around my home, to do fixes in my car. I'm not afraid of bugs. I'm not afraid of
Mhm.
rodents. I'm not afraid, if things
Well,
enter
I
my
am.
home. Yeah, if things enter my home, I'm not afraid to get them out, because you know why? Because this is going to be something that complements me, because I am afraid of bugs. I am afraid of rodents. So in the household, if something gets in, one of us needs to be able to get it out. Both of us can't be screaming and running around figuring out how we going to get this thing out. So for me, husband material is something that's going to be maybe to complement my deficits. So
Mhm.
Oh, that's
somebody,
good. That's
you know
big.
what I mean? Um, Somebody who doesn't mind getting dressed up and going to events. And this is not something that, oh, well, he's saying that now. I know if he goes out with me, he'll want to go out. No, if the man says he doesn't like to do events, he doesn't like to go out, that's not husband material for me. Is it a deal breaker? Maybe, because those are things that are important to me. So in order for somebody to be husband material, first of all, I'm gonna have to see traits in him that maybe complement my deficits. And I have to be honest with myself in the things that I'm willing to make the investments in to make him, or to help him be the to his full potential, or to what I see in his potential. And I think the most important thing is being honest with myself and what I want, if that all makes sense.
Oh,
No,
that
it
does.
totally
Yeah,
does. And
perfect.
Okay.
something you said that I feel this aligns, if someone's still asking the question around,
Hmm.
well, how do you determine a person's wife material, husband material? It's again what Andre said earlier. It's really up
Hmm.
to you. What's
Right.
important to you from a values and morals standpoint?
Right.
What's important to you that this person possessed that you're looking to, live the rest of your life with as your spouse.
Mhm.
Hmm.
What are those things that you want them to possess that's important to you, like you said? Now that could look different for everybody. Now when we turn that into what the scripture says, as far as like who's ready to be married and what does a wife look like, what are the functions of a husband and a wife, there are
Gotcha.
scripture references to that, and we'll get into that, but we were just trying to talk in just a practical sense, because we hear that term a lot, like she's not wife material. Well, and to be
Right.
clear, we're not saying because you do go hang out that you're not wife material. Taj is saying just that's not what I'm looking for
Right.
in a
Mhm.
woman,
Right.
because those are my in the way he was brought up, in the values that he has. To him, a wife looks like this, or this is what I want to, this is what I would desire my wife to possess, and to the values that she has in terms of what is important to her, what she does. And that's okay. You got to be honest with that, because part of why we don't see couples or married people that are married staying together is because of this very type of conversation now, that we excuse a lot of things that we later find out, well, I don't really like that they do that, or that that when I see someone hanging out, most people associate that as like single person behavior, right?
Right,
You're
yeah,
then you got a certain I'll say old school mentality, but then there is that value of feeling like women should be in the kitchen cooking. That to some, like my father would have said, that's what a wife is. Well, I came into it like, well, if that's what you're looking for, I'll cook, but I'm not a person that's going to cook every day. I made that perfectly clear. If that is 100% important to you, then we got to be honest to say, then if that's going to uproot your peace and cause a lot of friction and chaos in our marriage, because I'm not cooking and cleaning in the manner which you would like every day, then yeah, we got to talk about that.
Yeah.
And we just can remain friends. And so I love that, because it is about what's important to you and finding that. And later, like I said, we'll get into, just what are characteristics of wife according to scripture, but different than to say like, hey, what's wife material, right?
So you guys, and I'm going to start with Taj with this one. How important do you think it is to know yourself? Like even in the process of dating, and let me do this. Let me define dating from a Christian standpoint, and it's probably going to blow somebody's socks off, and some of you all won't agree. But in order for you to select a potential suitor, you have to explore options. Now, before you click off and say this man crazy, hear me out. What I mean with, I'm not talking about world ramification where you're sleeping with everybody.
Right.
I'm talking about you're entertaining, like going out to dinner, allowing yourself to date and not getting locked into one person. Okay. Because even biblically, the only thing that makes interaction with the opposite sex a sin is if you give way to lust or fornication. But if you just go into a movie and you're dating, those type of things, there's nothing wrong with that. Because what happens a lot of time, and I'm carefully saying it because I want y'all to hear me. I'm not talking about being a harlot. You say, well, the man on the podcast say, no, the man on the podcast ain't tell you that. What I'm saying is, when you get to the place that you seriously want to search out somebody and you're looking for somebody as a potential mate, you're looking for certain qualities, but you got to be clear on yourself. So my question is directed to Taj. Do you feel that's important, that you know about yourself?
Yes, I feel that it's important. I could share something. When I was younger, well, my dating, the way I view dating when I was younger, when I was like 18 to like 21, is completely different now. But when I was younger, it was just about, you know, shacking up to me, shacking up, and then see if I like her, and then we see where it goes from here. And it's a lot of teens like get just going into adulthood think that's the end thing, because a lot of men and peer pressure of, oh, if you ain't getting none, you ain't a man, or you ain't down. So I felt like I was peer pressure into just going into to fornicating early before marriage and stuff like that when it came to a lot of men. But to me, those men, as I look at it now, they were broken and they were unhealed, and they were just all men that was just all of birds of a feather flock together. That's what I would say. So it kind of like convinced me to just try it, and then I got stuck there to a standpoint until I tried to get right and like walk my path with God. And then after I began to grow, my dating aspect changed, because then I used to pay attention to detail, how she dresses, the way she carries herself, what she likes to do. Does it link up with me? Can I really be with this person? Do I actually used to ask myself questions and prep myself for that person that I'm dating?
Wow.
That's good. That's good,
Yeah.
Taj. That was really, and I like when you said that there was a mentality shift.
Yeah.
From that and the pressure which is actually our next question. We're going into talking about pressures that might cause you to respond in a certain manner. But like you said, and that's a real thing.
Yeah.
That's a real thing when it comes to men. In and I'm trying not to go so deep, but that's why a lot of times we're not fit to occupy those spots, because there's a lot of maturing we have to do as it reference relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we're taught, it's download to us, and Todd said it best. And we just being for real. We telling the
Oh,
truth.
this is honest
Yeah,
conversation. And thank
I
you,
mean,
Tosh, for, you know,
it's
we know you're
unfiltered.
not there anymore. And here's the thing, there are people that are listening that have been exactly where you are
Yeah.
as a young man, even as women. You know, everybody didn't come into it just squeaky clean, but we appreciate this honest conversation because this is a platform that we want to help people and help them understand how to do this correctly in the Lord. Because remember,
Yeah.
this is a platform of Christian conversation. So we are leading to that, but we want to be practical in the sense of like, hey, where were you? So appreciate
Right.
you opening that dialogue and being honest about that. So thank you.
Yeah, and just showing up big in that place, because that's what was indoctrinated to us as men. It was about what you hidden,
Yeah.
I mean, and no disrespect to the ladies on it, that's what we were taught. That's what you're supposed to do. Man, you trying to tie down. I'll never forget when I told one of my cousins I was getting married. He told me, "What is wrong with you?" He said, "What is wrong with you?" But that's what we feel. So it brings me to our next question: is how do you feel social media, and if you ever had or
Dating
explored
apps.
dating apps, in those experiences, do you feel they hinder or help? Do you if you've explored, do you feel they hinder or help you as it relates to dating?
Are you talking to me?
I'll direct this at Sharon, then we're gonna come back to you.
Okay.
Okay, well, I've never really used the dating apps because, first of all, I don't really understand them. Second of all, uh, it's just, again, I'm thankful for the age bracket that I'm in. I think I just missed that dating app bracket. Um, so we use things, like Facebook, MySpace, where you
Mm,
pretty much already know the person. You just maybe you weren't bold enough to speak to them face to face. So you
Mm-hmm.
use Facebook or MySpace or things like that to try to talk to them.
mm,
Now, my age bracket is a little bit different, but the pressures I think are still the same. I
Yeah.
mm,
think
Yeah.
that social media doesn't help one bit. I think that the pressures come from not only social media, but just life in general, because I'm 42. How many men what reaction do you think that I receive as a 42-year-old woman trying to tell a grown man in my age bracket? And I like older men, so even in their 50s or whatever, telling them that I'm 42 trying to preserve myself until marriage. Imagine the response I get. Okay.
Right.
They're not trying to hear that. They are not trying to hear that at all. They say, well, good luck on your journey and be gone. you
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
so it becomes a struggle then when you can't really establish anything long term or serious to the point that you would be looking for, and
Mm.
get to know anybody on that type of level as far as going forward in marriage, because they can't even get past the fact that you're not trying to take it there with them.
Wow.
mm,
you know so social media, I feel, doesn't help in any way, because again, it's the pressure of seeing what you see or what is shown to you, and thinking that you have to live up to some type of level so that you could take pictures and show the same.
mm,
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
me, it's like me and Francis always have this saying: we don't want it to look good, we want it to be good. So
right.
Yeah.
I
That's
don't
good.
really care. I'm not really about. You can see my social media page. I don't know when the last time I updated it,
Yeah.
but it's really hard in this age bracket to find a man who really takes you seriously
Okay.
when you say, I'm not going there with you. And then where do you go from there? So that's where what I find in this age bracket is
Wow.
hard to navigate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. Go ahead, Tosh. The question
So
is, go ahead. You got
with dating online, there's for I know how she said about the women aspect, but for the men, there's positives and negatives. So there's women on there that are, I would say, they're very bold. They'll tell you what they want.
Yeah.
They'll tell you what they want, and you just have to look past that and just keep looking, and your what you put that what you like and stuff you like to do, it'll match you with somebody. That's how I met my fiance on Facebook dating app.
Okay.
We met online, and our what we valued more, our main thing that caught my eye was the we both had a relationship with God. That was the main thing
Mhm.
that really caught my eye. And then after that, I was like, you know what? Let me send her a little text. Let me see if she'll respond. Because at the same time, you don't know if you're being catfished online, or if someone's trying to, just get money out of you, or like someone's just trying to shack up.
Mhm.
Mhm. Mhm.
I've met a lot of women that I'm thinking that we're just going on a date, and they're like, "Oh, are we going back to your house on the
Mm.
first day?" And it was like they're just trying to shack up. There's it's nothing serious about the relationship.
Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah.
Now
That's
that's so surprising to me, and I'm gonna be honest right now. I feel really old because I mean, no, but for real, just now, I'm not saying that women in our day, in let me give y'all background with me and Val. We're like 80, 90s. That's where our
Mm.
80s, 90s. That's where we were doing our little thing and dating and stuff. There were still people in that ramification that wanted to do the one night stands or stuff like that. But from stories I've heard, I'm not in you all's sector of dating, but stories that I've heard, the young ladies now are very different.
mhm.
They're much more upfront. They're, and like
And
Todd say,
bold.
they're telling you, and I even see it in
It's like
grade
a
school.
role reversals have happened.
Yeah, it is. It
Mhm.
is. And I'm like,
Yeah.
where is, like,
And to be honest, at all ages, it's not even just either one of y'all's age, it's at all age brackets. I mean, you
Yep.
have, even at all levels, I'll just say, and this is not what I've heard. This is what we are aware of and
right?
know because we know people and that are still trying to, and it's nothing wrong with wanting to date at those ages. That's not what we're saying, but it's just interesting how you find more women leading the
Yeah,
way through
yeah,
and being very demanding about this is all I want.
Mhm.
I'm in,
yeah,
I'm out, and okay with that. Let me get
yeah.
back to my career, my life,
Mhm.
my work, my status, my doing me or whatever these things are. And so I was like, wow, that a lot has changed.
So
And
so
then you
is
see
Go ahead. Go
go ahead,
ahead.
sir.
Sorry. And then you see a lot of that in the way that TV shows are now. You see a lot of that,
Mm,
Yeah.
like he was saying, on social media, and a lot of that is hyped up as women being, independent or
Yeah.
individualized, which is fine. But that's what's now being elevated as the norm. When in
Right.
actuality, it's really not the norm. It's few and far between. But the way it's presented to society as,
It's
like
okay.
I said, that is the norm.
yeah.
And this is what
Yeah.
you should be striving for until you get what you really want. And in the end, it always shows women after they bruised and broken, trying to then find what they really wanted from the beginning, which is a family and, a life of what we should have been striving for or what we are striving for in the beginning. So it just,
That's so true.
yeah.
So
So,
Wow.
so the big question, and this is good. If y'all enjoying the conversation, give us some thumbs up to let us know you're still out there, you hanging out with us. We appreciate you so much joining us on the Clarity Lounge. I want to position this question. So two things. Do you feel, and I'm not saying the question I'm about to ask, I'm not saying this to be uh facetious in any manner. Um, do you feel chivalry is dead? Do you feel the nice guy, the opening the doors and all that kind of stuff? Do you feel that women still want and appreciate that? And from a man's perspective, Taj, is that something that men want to do? Can y'all speak to that?
In my perspective now, what I see is my age group. I don't like I'm a chivalry guy, but that was taught to me by
Wow.
my parents. If you're not
Yeah.
taught that, I think that's very hard to expect that from that man. Now he can develop those skills, but it'll
Okay.
be hard and it'll be a fight. It'll be combust in the relationship because it's something that he's not used to. Um,
Yeah.
I'm used to it though, so I was taught very well from my parents' perspective. But another thing I want to say is, it could be depending on how that man was brought up. It
Mm-hmm.
depends on how he views women.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Not
that's
all
good. Yeah.
men not all men view women the same way. Not all
Mhm.
men value women the same way. Some men
Mm.
see women as a tool. Some men
Mhm.
see women as partners. It all depends on how they view them.
Wow. That's
Mhm.
good.
That's
That's
good.
good. Wow. Wow.
Sharon,
That's
can
good.
you speak to that? Thanks, Taj. That was good. That
Yeah,
was
that
good.
was
That
real
was a
good.
bomb moment. Good.
Sure. First of all, do I believe chivalry is dead? No, I do not. But I agree with Taj. I believe that it's something that's taught. I do believe that it's something that can be learned. But once you get to a certain age, learning something new like that, it is something that I believe is difficult.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
But I do believe that there are still men out there that are chivalrous.
Come on.
I but I believe for women, it also becomes a point to where do you want to wait for that until you find it? Is it that important to you?
Mhm.
Um, but if you're a woman that didn't grow up with that, is it even something that you know what chivalry is?
Wow. Yeah,
Um,
that's
and
good. That's good.
and
Mhm.
what we're being shown as women in society, are we humble enough? Are we, like they're saying, demure enough? Are we feminine enough to take that step
Mm.
back and let a man be chivalrous to us?
Right.
Come on.
Um, there is a certain posture that you have to take to let a man be chivalrous to us. And what we're being shown in society is all this independence.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Um, women is, let women, I'm woman, hear me roar. And please don't get me wrong. I'm a very independent woman. I am very for women's rights and stand up for yourself and take care of business. But if a man wants to be chivalrous to me, please believe I'm going to step back and let him do what he needs to do because I love a man that is a man, and I feel like that is an important trait of manhood. So it's hard to find out there, but I feel like if it is important to you, you'll be willing to wait,
Yeah.
or you'll be willing to help cultivate that in a man.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Help him. Tell him what's important to you. If you like a man to open the door for you, tell him, you know what, babe, I really like when you open the door for me. That makes me feel, wanted. That makes me feel special. And if he values you, it's just opening a door. Then if he values what you're saying and how he treats you, he'll open the door for you. I mean,
Wow.
that if he's that man. If he's
Right.
not, then move on. We don't have time to waste.
Love it. No, that's awesome. This
That's
is such
good.
got
great
I
got
love
conversation.
it.
one more
Oh,
thing
go
to
ahead. Go
say.
ahead, Tosh. Go ahead.
Well, let me
Another
touch on this. Walter said, we
We
out
out
here.
here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
He said, we out
Okay.
here.
We out
We
here
out
too.
here.
Yeah. 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 That's
another thing I was gonna say about men, like especially young men. You know how we were talking about how women are out there now. Sometimes men
awesome.
are out now. The roles is flipped. Men are afraid to approach women
Right. Mm-hmm.
because
Really?
they are afraid
Mm-hmm.
to approach women because
Why?
of
Because we mean.
rejection, of
Did you say we're
rejection,
mean? I'm sorry. What
or
did you say?
even if
We're mean?
We
Wow. Okay.
mean. Because we're
or even if
mean.
they try to hold the door
Mm-hmm.
or try to just say hello, it's like, oh, he's just trying to holler at me.
Right.
Mm,
Even sometimes it's just a man just trying to be nice, trying to,
Yeah.
you know,
I
just
call
trying
it
to help you up.
the good guy syndrome. The
yeah.
good guy
Yeah.
Yeah.
syndrome.
Because our
Yeah.
trust has been broken.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Mhm.
that directs us to another area. This is so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
This
I was
is
gonna
really
say
good.
that taps into a whole nother
It's so
conversation as
much.
to
Yeah, we can go with that.
when we, when we're not able to receive love and receive, some of
Right.
us have been so hurt, traumatized by some relationships, that when someone is coming with best intent, we're afraid and fear
Mhm.
steps in and we're afraid to
Right.
receive it. we put up this
Guarded. We're
we're
guarded.
guarded. We put up this
Mhm.
wall, and we become a little bit sassy and
Right.
you know all I can
And
use some of
rude.
these words,
Yeah.
and yeah, I would say I was trying to find some other choice words, but yeah, we become
It's just
guarded,
rude. Mhm.
and don't know, because there are, I will say this, and personally, we know there are some good men still out there,
Mhm.
just like there's good women. And I don't want to say like people are bad. What I'm saying, with good intentions to want
Right.
wholesome, godly relationships. Now, where are they, and how? I said, well, we get to pray about it and all those things, but at the
Mhm.
end of the day, I know that's like the churchy answer, but I will say, this is why we're having this conversation.
So my question, and I find this a lot of time when I talk to singles, um, and we did this at our church. Sharon, remember we had this. So, and this is that question that always comes up. So, at what time do you feel it's appropriate to have that talk? You know what I'm saying? Like for like you all been going out, you've been hanging out for a while. You've been hanging out for a while.
You mean marriage talk?
No, no. Well, that this relationship is because it touched
Oh,
on like
like real
Sharon said. She
seriously.
said, yeah, like um, if you want them to open the door and they're not opening the door, my thing, and I hear this so many times. Why do you prolong the process and stay in that relationship when you understand? Now, I'm not talking about pull out your list. We're not talking
Right.
about being superficial, like, no, they didn't do it. But I'm saying you're enjoying the company, you're enjoying this. But if you, first of all, that person that, and I think Taj mentioned this, and I've known Taj for a while, and I knew from the beginning when Taj and I talked, Taj was looking for a serious relationship.
Okay.
He wasn't looking for, and excuse my language, he wasn't looking for a banger.
Right.
Okay. So because he was looking for a serious relationship,
A banger.
uh, yeah, because it's a banger. Bada bing, bada bing. So
Bada bing, bada bing.
bada bing, bada bang, banger, a banger.
Mhm.
So don't get stuck with the banger. So here we go. So if you know, then and that's where what you're wanting and looking for in a relationship. And I always say first you got to be clear on what it is that you want. So it's self-defining. What are you looking for? If you haven't taken the time to be with yourself and know, okay, like Sharon was very clear, and I'm so proud of her, but she's very clear. And she talked about some non-negotiables,
Mhm.
but she also talked about something that she'll help, work through.
Mhm.
They're in seed form.
Yeah.
So when you find this person of interest, you all chatting, and you talking and stuff. At what point do you start easing in your list? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At what point you start? So how are you with lotion?
Is that a question?
Do you use lotion or you
Wait
know
a minute.
you know
Yeah.
how
Um,
frequently do you walk
is
around with ashy elbows?
Right.
Like at what point do you start easing
soulmates.
those questions?
We both
Yeah.
ashy. Yay. I think is that are you questioning or are you just
Yeah,
making a
go ahead. Go
statement?
ahead.
Okay.
No,
When
no,
do you
go ahead.
feel it's
Go
an
I
ahead.
feel
appropriate
like
time?
I feel like if in my bracket, okay, we know that we are well, I'm just saying because Taj is in a
No, no,
different
no. I'm sorry. We read a
um
comment. I'm so
oh, okay,
sorry. Go ahead.
got you. Well, we feel like we know why we're dating. Okay, we're not dating just to have fun unless that's what we've agreed upon.
Mhm.
If we're dating with intention and we know that we're hoping that this leads to something serious, then we can
Mhm.
come in knowing that every date is a time to get to know each other more. So I'm not saying like he said on date one, pull out your list. But if date two or three, if we're not vibing as far as just the conversation that is organic
Mhm.
without even talking about expectations, then you can kind of tell, I'm probably not going to waste my time investing any more of my time.
Mhm.
Because if you're vibing with somebody, these questions are just going to come up naturally because women, we want to know the 5-year plan and this and this and this, and you can kind of toss that into a conversation, just kind of like you joking but not like you joking. So if I'm coming to dinner with you and we know that the expectation is we're dating with intention, hopefully hoping that this is going to go somewhere serious, then hi, how are you? Yeah, and what do you like to do? Did you go to school? What did you study? You know, what did you like to do when you were in college? What do you like to do now? Do you go to church? Do you Are you in any ministries in church? These are the type of questions that you're getting to know this person, but you're also establishing if you are going to invest any more time in this person. So
That's
I
good.
think kind of just you're establishing if they are worth the investment that you want to make in somebody that you want to spend your lifetime with. Period. Point
Right.
blank. If you're not
Right.
feeling that with them, I don't feel like past date one or two. I mean, I think that's enough for me because I'm the type of person that I'm working on having a filter, but it hasn't quite, come full circle yet. So
Mm-hmm.
what you see is what you get. And I think that because I have wasted a lot of time and experienced a lot of hurt investing in people, and I don't want to come from a hurt place, but I
Mm-hmm.
also feel like if I don't feel like you are worthy of my investment, I don't have to invest. I can love you
Mm-hmm.
via Dios, God bless you, but I want to move on to people that love me for me.
Hmm.
If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
That's
Yeah. Yeah.
good,
That's
Sharon. I
So
good.
like that. That's good.
it's like first or second date and we not vibing, I feel like that's the time, like maybe if we get past second, I feel like third or fourth is a time where you can start asking those questions, as
To
far
start
as, yeah, start to get deep. I mean, but that's just
getting to
me.
know more about them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's part of dating. It's really getting to know people,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's
And
what it's
so,
for. Yeah.
yeah.
Shauna Bryan, a really good, and I think this is really good because sometimes we forget to, like what Sharon was saying, just enjoy the ride and
Yeah.
insert fun.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Because it's in those comfortable environments that you can have those organic, soulful
Exactly. That
conversations.
it
You know
just
what I'm
comes
saying?
naturally. It just comes
Yeah,
out
it flows
naturally.
naturally
Right.
when you just allow yourself and you
While
can
you're
kind of,
having fun. Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right,
I love
Shanna.
that
Perfect.
we do have
Yes.
no, that's great. We do have Chantel Reese who says I pulled out my list on day
Day
one.
one. She was like, I ain't even playing with it.
No,
This is
I
my
think that
list.
no, this is Chantel. So we know who she
She's
is,
like,
and she's
we ain't
currently
playing with this. Is
married.
my list, bro.
And that's
So
her
her
Right
day
here.
one
personality.
list
Yep.
works. And
Yeah.
hey,
Hmm.
it worked
It
for her,
works.
but hey,
Yep.
it may not work for everybody, right? But I love that. Yeah, we have a comment here from Mother Neil. I am old school. Some women, as Taj says, are so bold. Once they meet a man, they don't get to know them or set boundaries. They just go all the way in.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yep.
that's true.
100%. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And even when you're talking about submission, or I saw somebody, I think Elena said something about submission, and these are things that are within our culture, and what I mean Christian culture, because when it comes to world culture, you don't hear a lot about that because everything's promoting being a woman, here you roar. And nothing to take away from that. I don't want to sound chauvinistic, but what I'm saying is, and I always highlight my wife, she allowed herself to be soft so I could pursue her.
Right.
And I think that's what women, because it's a blessing in submission.
Yeah.
It's not, my wife can handle it all. She's strong like that. And most women are. God knows that we have women in church. Where would we be?
Well, this speaks to Elena's comment here. Older women,
Oh, sorry.
especially, have to be loved into submission. We want to submit, but trusting in men not to lord over them, but rather lead in love.
Mhm.
Now, what I can say in my grace of being able to submit to my husband, I understand one, there's a blessing in doing that, but also knowing that he's not trying. There is a difference between just, leading your wife versus just um harshly controlling. So there's some, so if I thought in the terms of Elena lording over, right,
Mhm.
just trying to control
Tell
and
you what
and
to
not
do.
and tell what to do and not allow me to be a helpmate, then that's a different situation. But he doesn't do that to me. So yeah, that makes submission you know one easier. But even in that, even if there is a tussle around that, we have a discussion.
And
But I thank God that I understand what that looks like. But also he's a man that's gonna take the lead. That's
right.
another thing.
And if you're a person that significant other or that person that you potentially want to marry, maybe y'all not at that place now, and it's a toxic relationship, it goes back to like what Sharon and Taj mentioned. Why would you keep
Well,
going
yeah,
in
you
that?
got to get out of
Like
them
it reminds me
relationships.
of the nursery rhyme. Peter Pumpkin Eater had a wife who could not keep her. He put her in a pumpkin shell there. I don't know why Peter put her in a pumpkin shell, because I would have got rid of her. That's what I would have did. It would have been very different, would very short, because apparently she was pretty toxic that he got to keep her in a pumpkin shell to control her. We ain't doing the pumpkin shelling. We're not pumpkin shelling nothing. We gonna call it quit this relationship, and we're talking about dating, y'all. We ain't talking about marriage.
You ain't even got to marriage.
These are things that you handle before you get there. If it's toxicity and it's a person that you're in that relationship and you're arguing all the time, it's only going to get worse.
Please stop. I would say let's stop right there real quick.
Yeah,
let me just say this real quick. When he made that statement, we're going to be talking about marriage. What you see now, believe it. It doesn't get better because you put a ring on it and y'all go to the altar and make a commitment and think that something about that person that you've already experienced is going to change for the better if it hasn't been better. So note to self, believe the red flags, take them. They're for real. It's the real thing.
Yeah. Don't ignore them.
And for the spiritual people, red flags equals when the Holy Spirit telling you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And sometimes
get
it's
out.
Get out. Run. Sometimes it might not be. Sometimes the red flag might not necessarily be a deal breaker, and this gonna mess somebody up. But sometimes the red flag is something that don't compliment you.
Yeah, that's
you following what I'm saying. Some red flags, like, get away from that, Joker.
It don't have to be the worst of the worst, but if it doesn't.
I'm saying, like, for example, a red flag, and I always ask couples this: is that a deal breaker? Or is it something you can work through? And what I mean is, for example, if I throw the towel on the floor, that's a red flag, but you can work through that. You know what I'm saying? We come to a medium, and that's what I'm saying. But those are things like the red flag. It might cause me to self-examine myself. You follow what I'm saying?
I follow you. But I was saying red flags in like the extreme of red flags.
Deal breaker.
Like if he has a temper and he hit you one time and you say, "Oh, it's okay, he was mad," or if he's using, he's calling you out of your name.
Right.
If I'm talking major red flags now, behaviors of like towels and how you cook a certain way, those things. Yes, I understand what you're saying. Yeah. I'm sorry, Taj, you had a statement. Go ahead.
Just to add on what y'all was saying. So I was saying that it's with men nowadays, sometimes they can feel like, women in waiting, that women have a high expectation upon them. And to me, it's like, if I'm 80% what you're looking for and you're only missing 20, why can't we work with it? And try to build off of that and build a healthy relationship. But it's like women have this high standard. They're expecting Prince Charming or somebody out of a storybook. Everyone has flaws. We all dealt with trauma and things we need to heal from. But it's not to just pick at and point fingers. Oh, you got this, but come together and just try to develop. If you really truly want to be with that person, develop a strategy on how to work together and how to make it through. It's not just about, I don't want to be with you because you have that flaw. Yeah. Everyone has flaws.
Yeah. And I think that's a great point, because we don't want to mistake, again, what we're saying. We say like certain things that you should pay attention to that could cause an upheave in the marriage, like major things, versus just, like you said, certain flaws or things that we've experienced in the past. Because when he and I came into the marriage, we were two imperfect people. Yeah. He had things that were going on and had experience. So did I, which is why, one, you start developing your relationship in conversation and getting to know each other. The second thing, as you are pursuing and say, hey, this is somebody that I want to marry and pursue in a marriage, then this is why counseling is important, because again, we get to talk about those things and see if there is a healthy medium and what I need to know about this person's background and, ethical background, just their systems, their beliefs. And if that is something I am willing to, we work through that, so that again, we'll lead into that. We start talking about engagement.
And I think too, you got to understand, like Taj was saying, and I see it on the other side of that, because I would see that as that ain't the one for me. If I'm showing up 80% and they still ain't, that means you ain't for me. Because what's going to happen, the other 20% that's missing, it's going to be hell on wheels. So there comes a point, and this is what I'm saying, we got to know ourselves. And I really think, because I would be like Chantel, I love my wife to life. I love my wife to life. And if God forbid something were to happen and I had to go back in the dating field, I'm be like, Chantel, look, this is my list. I ain't got time to try to learn about this, going to spell it out, this, but and I tell people this all the time, say what the heck you want. But in order to say what you want, you got to know what you want. And what I think, we get ready to wrap this up. What I think, and just wisdom to single people, is you've got to take the time to explore and find out yourself, your quirks, how you're wired, what's going to be a deal breaker. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes loneliness will trump those things. And because you're lonely, you'll find yourself in a relationship.
And this statement comes to life.
Yep.
They think they can change. Yeah, right. That you, loneliness is really what's driving, so you're not thinking sensibly. And anything that's intoxicating, intoxication is something that's a mind-altering substance, and it can be an emotion, because you're like, well, they ain't all that bad. She I know she may be dressed provocative, but she do go to church and read her Bible a little bit. No, because whatever is tiny now, if this is a person that you're pursuing for that place of marriage to lead to the altar, it's only going to amplify. It's only going to be an aggravation. And not to say that that person is bad, you're not compatible. Stop playing. You're not compatible. Leave it alone. Like Sharon said, I'm not investing time in that. You up there, you're trying to convince people. Well, I like Red Lobster. Well, I like the Olive Garden. And y'all fussing all the time about that. That ain't going to get better. It's not going to get better. When you get married, you still going to be, and then, I don't know, it's something, Val and I were talking about this the other day. It's something that happens when you get that marriage license in that paper. I don't care. It's something that changes. You were dating before, but something changes. And it's almost like, oh no, I got papers on you now. No, you can't say that no more. You can't do this. And it's totally different. It's totally different. So dating healthy and setting boundaries really aid in preparing you for those obstacles that are going to come. So,
and being aware that, again, paying attention in your dating to what you're seeing, and believe it. The comment that was on the screen around thinking that you can change a person. So a lot of times we'll continue to stay. And again, it's just, again, it depends. We talked about in the beginning, like morals and values and what's important to you when you say wife material and when you say husband material, right? And if that's important to you and what you're seeing is either you are getting it or you're not throughout the dating period, then there's something to beware. Again, doesn't mean a person's terribly bad and everything. It's just, hey, that's just not the person for me. You know, and so keeping that in mind, and I do hear it's tougher to date now because one, you want people to be honest. People not come with honest intentions or just honesty around those things, which is why take your time. Don't let time be a factor to feel you have to rush through a process, or rush through that dating period. Hey, give it the right amount of time that you feel you need, and if you find that compatible person, to Sharon's point, you'll know it because you'll feel it. And certain things can people. I mean, there's been success stories with people meeting and and in a short period of time they marry and their marriage is wonderful. That's not everybody's story.
No.
So I think that just to keep that in mind. But what other I don't know. Before we weren't wrapping it up yet. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think we're wrapping it up. Y'all, this has been amazing. I'm looking at the comments. It's been so good.
I know there's a lot of comments. We know this is a hot topic.
Yeah, this is always a hot topic. We appreciate you guys so much, so much. And y'all hit some really valid points. And thank you guys in the comment section for just dropping comments. We really appreciate your engagement in these conversations. Date Unfiltered. So what I want you all to do, just give a little close. I want to do this one.
I was going to say, is that when you're going to ask for some advice or just encouragement?
So encouragement and advice. So the last one we're going to leave on this one. What advice or encouragement would you give to other singles who are feeling discouraged by their current dating landscape?
So we'll start with Taj and then we'll
Taj,
end
we'll
on.
start with you. What's some advice you give some single folks? I'm gonna break it down man style. What would you say to single people to help them?
All right. I would say don't be pressured by other men to shack up early. I would say to wait on that special person. Don't make a drastic decision just because you're feeling lonely. And
Mm,
at times when you feel lonely, that's a time when you gotta love yourself and put time and effort into yourself. And then while you loving yourself, you pampering yourself. Your special lady might walk through the door, might say, "Oh, he look good," by just the way how you carrying yourself and you putting effort in yourself. Work on yourself in times when you feel like you really want to just make a drastic decision.
Mm-hmm.
wow.
Yeah,
Work on yourself. I
absolutely.
love
That's
that.
good.
Thanks, Taj.
Work on you. Work on you. Sharon, come on, give us something.
Well, that was pretty good. Taj is a intelligent and wise old man in his years of 25. Um, but just the same thing. Even though society may be pushing you, your mothers may be pushing you, fathers, nieces, nephews, aunts, everybody in your life may be pushing you that you're at a certain age and you should be at a certain level. Just continue to work on you, continue to let God work on you, and not to be all spooky and spiritual. Continue to let your heart and your foundation be worked on. Because believe me, there was so much more work than I initially thought that had to be done. But
Love that. Yeah.
I'm so glad that I haven't allowed myself to be pressured into anything that I'm not ready for. Um, and even though it's hard, sometimes you feel looked over, sometimes you feel
Mm,
ignored,
come on.
sometimes you
Come on.
feel out of place, and
Yeah.
sometimes you even feel lonely, even when you're surrounded by great friends, great family, and great community. um, just know that if you haven't arrived at that time, it's because it's not your time. So just continue to, I know it's hard, just be patient, allow the work to be completed, and
Yeah.
just have fun in the journey. Try to make
Have
it as fun
fun
as
with
possible,
that.
like Todd says. Work on you, do all the things, pedicures, manicures, Sunday brunches, anything, all the things that you want to do for you. And just let the Lord be your strength and your happiness, and just work on it every day.
Wow.
Cool.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you guys
Man, that
so
was awesome
much.
conversation. I know people are
Yeah.
asking for part two already.
Yeah.
Hey,
Bring
let's
it
do
back
it.
on.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know
We are
there's
going to
much
put
more
some
we could have
things
dived
together.
in on,
Yeah.
but thank you both.
We appreciate you all so much. I know I love the both of you all, and thank you for sharing on this platform on behalf of the Clarity Lounge. One
Thanks
day
for
we're going
having
to send
us.
you all mugs with captions.
And we
T-shirt.
will drink out of them.
Get
One day
T-shirts.
it's coming. That's coming. We're gonna be able.
Oh,
That's
we're a mind to work.
one of my business for our guests. But seriously, we really appreciate you. Got something you want to close out with? And gonna
No, I just appreciate the candid conversation you both brought. I know again we could have dove into so much more, but this is what I know is helping bring insight. And as we journey through this month, we're going to continue with different walks of life. And for the people that are listening, I know there's different age brackets out there, and maybe something was said that does resonate, or maybe there's people that say, "Well, that's not quite my story yet." But just stay with us throughout this month. We do have our next guest will be singles, but that have actually been married and and no longer married, divorced, and been in and what single life has been for them. So we do, and then we're gonna lead into talking to married people that are married and what that journey is like. At all costs, it requires a level of maturity, one in God, yes, but then the other piece is knowing your personal values and what's important to you, and then sticking true to those values and making sure that each individual does the work within themselves before we can look to the other person and expect them to change and adapt to what we need. But it's like, hey, do the work. And while if you're single, this is a perfect time to do the work. It's harder to get in a relationship, marriage, I'll say it, I only say relationship, a marriage, and then feel you got to do all this work, because it's only going to be that much harder. We've been there. We know, we counsel with couples. It's tougher. So while you have this time, work on self,
Mhm.
build up your self-esteem, and don't be afraid to wait until that person is there. There is a right person for you. So
Mhm.
don't settle. Don't feel you have to settle because of time. And I know some would say, well, that's easy because you married. No. I've seen it. And I know it
You
to be
did it.
true. And I actually did it. I didn't, you know, I wasn't at 19 getting married. And so there were certain things that I just wasn't going to settle for when it came to a marriage and a husband. And so I'm just thankful for both of you all's candidness in this conversation.
All right, guys. Thank you all so much. Now we're gonna put you back in the green room.
Thank you all. Let's give them a hand, you
Y'all
all.
give them a
Any
hand
comments?
in the
Just
comments. Y'all come
show
on,
them
light
some
it up for
love.
them. Tell them thank you for hanging out with us. We appreciate them so much. Wow, what an amazing show. This was awesome. Awesome. I love you know, we
It's a
just
good
chatted
start.
up. It just didn't allow for the volume of information. We needed more time. We need like more time for sure. But like Val said, this whole month we're going to be dealing with relationships. So next week we're going to be talking to people that were married and that are now divorced. Because sometime in those instances we feel like, oh well, it's done. It's like putting the horse out the you know, graze, and you know, just that's it. But there's beautiful stories of people that have either married or they've stayed with themselves and they're fine. So it doesn't have to be like a gloom doom type of scenario and situation. So all this month we're going to be dealing with relationships. So look for the
and there
the
might
notices.
I was going to say, and it's probably sooner than Monday because we have several guests coming to the front.
Yeah.
So we'll be actually, this month is a special month. We're going to be airing or I say airing, going live.
Yeah,
or airing like TV shows. I don't know, but we will be on more than the Mondays,
than our regular Mondays
that'll be on there, because we definitely have a lot of guests that are coming to the front. So stay on the lookout. And we also have some posts that are coming, some giveaways that are coming. So what else can they look for in this month?
So how are they going to know who's going to be on the show? How are they going to know?
They need to scan the QR code. You didn't set me up for that.
She blew it.
I know you did.
How are you going to know? You're going to subscribe to our channel.
Yeah. Oh, I'm supposed to say that.
You're going to subscribe.
How are they going to sign up for
like
the text club?
And subscribe. I'm getting to that.
That's where I thought you were.
You're going to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon.
Ding.
That little bell, bling, and it'll let you know when we're having dropping content, because we got some good stuff. I'm telling you, this one brother we talked to, amazing story. I don't want to let the cat out the bag, but his story is phenomenal. You don't want to miss it, and he's going to speak to a lot of brothers. We really did research to get some brothers to speak out, but you're not going to want to miss that, as well as an amazing story. I sound like my grandbaby. Baby E, he does amazing. He says that I sound like.
Oh, let's give a shout out to Isaiah, Elijah Jr.
Yeah,
our grandbabies.
That's his word. But that's going to be upcoming, and then I'm really excited about this couple. Their story is, y'all, and this is not clickbait, and I'm not just telling y'all this for real. When we put this couple up, they're having their first baby, and you don't want to miss this story. I'm just gonna say that.
All the stories are good.
All the stories are good. And but we got some things coming from. We got some meaty conversation this month, and what we pray that it ignites you, it stirs you. And I think I saw Walter saying this. I think it was on one of the things he said is memories, or something he said about memories. That's what we wanted to do, to cause you to reflect that there's still hope for you, and different things of those nature. Oh yeah, thank you, Mom. Also Facebook notifications, they'll be up too. So want to let you all know that we do have what we call Clarity Lab family. And as you not subscribe to YouTube, but you go on the website and you fill out for our newsletter and information and different things of that nature, we collect your information. And so tonight we're welcoming.
Do we post where they go? They know where to go.
Yeah, it's going to be on the little. We want to congratulate, if I can get this right. We want to congratulate and welcome to the family. Yay! Vicky Mathis, She
She's
filled
in a
out the
relationship.
she's in a relationship. She always tells us that. So if you want to be a part of this family, and what does that? It tells you all what that includes. You get all of the hype of what we're doing. You're the first to know what we're dropping. We're getting ready to release some products, some what they call it, merch. We're getting ready to have some merch. But most of all, God's will, and everything is intact. Next year, we will be hosting our first live event, and we want everybody to be a part. So we're collecting your information. Be right here in the sunny city of Orlando, Florida. So it's going to be really nice. We will be having the Clarity Lounge family reunion, where all of you all will come out, and we will have a live show with different people on the platforms. It's going to be fun. You can get out and do the electric slide and all that stuff. I don't do that. I'll probably be taking pictures, but we want it to be a fun-filled family environment. So all you do is go to the website.
Because I think it went kind of quick. Do you have the banner?
Let me put this up here. Okay. So you'll see the website.
And we'll be doing some giveaways now as you're signing up. So definitely go ahead and sign up. Be part of the family. We Clarity Lounge family.
We can call you cousin and aunties, all that. You join so you can see what's going on in the Clarity Lounge.
Absolutely.
That's a wrap. I think this was pretty good. Please don't forget.
So as we're closing out, I got a question for you.
Okay.
So 25 years, how does that feel, married?
25 years have been, I can honestly say, and as the young people say, no cap, it's been great. And the reason why I can honestly say it's been great, because I believe in relationship, you're going to have ups and downs. And I believe unrealistic expectations set you up for massive disappointments.
Yeah.
And so I think because we had a realistic view of what relationship looked like for us, it made 25 years blissful for us. Because you take, the good, the bad, and the ugly and ball it up. And like they say, and it's not being cliche, you like, well, this outweighed that. So it's really, it's really good.
The good outweighed the bad. It really did. You heard that statement a lot. And then what would you say, this is the final question, in 25 years, what is one of the best pieces of advice regarding marriage that you have received?
And this is going to sound different for those that are new, but for those that have been in a relationship for a while, Torres, Ms. Z, and those others, you can relate to this. And one of my clients told me this. Well, it wasn't my clients, but she said, don't fall out of love the same time.
Yeah.
Don't fall out of love the same time. And when the lady told me that, I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
What kind of unsound doctrine is that? That's what I said. But as you journey in your relationship, you will find out you love one another, but the reality of it, that there will be periods that you don't like each other. And it's the truth. It's the truth, they call it midlife crisis and all that stuff. And we're going to get all into that with that's the cliffhanger.
What does that mean? That's the cliffhanger.
Yeah, that's the cliffhanger. So you can come back
the moment that we did not fall out of love at the same time, but we did experience wanting out.
Yeah.
And so
because 25 years, and I'm pretty sure people like my mom's been married longer. My Mama Sonia, Val's mom, was married much longer. It wasn't just because we just had the ideal picture perfect marriage. We prayed, spoken tongue, loved the Lord, and all that good stuff. But there was sometimes Jesus.
Really? You just gonna call on Jesus?
Yes, it was Jesus. It was Jesus.
Yeah.
That brought us through, and not just knowing him, demonstrating him. So those are things, a lot of times I always tell people, and like I said, I don't want to, because we're going to be talking about those things. Marriage is for mature audience. Marriage is for mature audience. So those are things that you have to to work
49
through.
years.
Yeah, my mother's been married 49 years. And how long was your?
Yeah, mom and pop Davis 52 years.
52
so we got some wonderful examples of years sticking it out.
And so you'll find in those seasons and times, even myself, and I'm not afraid to say there were times that I don't know, it's like a new monster came out of me and I didn't know who I was, so it affected her and vice versa. But anyway, we don't want to get there.
That's some conversation that you can look forward to.
I'm telling you, you're gonna want to click in, tell somebody, get it. Yeah, hey, y'all start watch parties. That would be great. Start a watch party and then click it off and have some discussions and all that kind of stuff and talk about, because we have some good stuff coming up. I'm telling you, you're not gonna want to hear about this. You want to be on the actual thread when we're doing the stories. God bless you all. Thank you all so much. It's been a awesome opportunity to serve you all tonight, and we hope something that was said to bless your socks off and give you that extra oomph to go on a little further in the Lord. So we appreciate it. Please pray for us as we celebrate 25 years. You're gonna see some things coming up. We're gonna be doing kind of like a challenges. So look on our social media threads. Follow us on Facebook for the challenges, and we'll be announcing the winners on the shows. So you want to definitely do that, and some things that we're required to do.
Thanks again to Sharon Stevens and Taj Glamad for our guest tonight. We thoroughly appreciate it. It was an awesome time.
A great job. And for those that sharing, Steph, and those that are our regular family, but y'all go and subscribe so you could be. Also,
let's put a plug in for Taj has a like a YouTube channel. Go ahead and Awakening, where he's encouraging the Awakening podcast. Taj, you're out there. If your fiance's out there, go ahead and drop that in the comment. His link to.
I like her. Miss Z says she Auntie Z. She a part of the family. That's what I'm talking about. And if you guys can't, for some reason, I know somebody had technical difficulties with the website. I don't know what's going on with that. But if you can't, feel free to just inbox me. Or if you know my number, just send the number and we'll get you all set up. All right?
Thank you.
Thanks, Walter. Thanks for hanging out with us, bro. Hopefully one day I'll get the chance to meet you in person. Taj's podcast is called the Awakening Podcast, and it's encouraging, just motivating people. Sharon also does Proverbs 31.
Yeah, Sharon, put your
bags or anything like that.
Chat.
She will serve you. She is the concierge of concierge. She's very. I mean, when I tell you a well of knowledge, Sharon is. Even with words you never heard before, she'll tell you, no, that's not what that means. So, but definitely look those people up. Y'all, okay, we get ready to go because I think we talked too much. Thanks, Lakeisha, for hanging out with us.
Y'all have a good night.
We appreciate y'all so much. See you back here on next week. God bless you.